ドジャースの大谷翔平選手は、日本時間2月12日に移籍2年目のキャンプを迎えます。ドジャース専門局、スポーツネット LA のレポーター、キルステン・ワトソンさんは、大谷選手のリクルート活動を高く評価。
翔平はトップクラスの選手。その翔平が、朗希は最高の選手だ、と考えている。佐々木選手の獲得に関して、彼の意見は球団にとって重要で、価値あるものとして受け止められている。
と語り、大谷選手の球団における影響力の大きさを強調しました。ドジャース専門局スポーツネット LA の大谷について語っているシーンを日本語字幕付きでご紹介します。
We kick off the show with the big show. Shohei Ohtani checking in as pitchers and catchers report to spring training at Camelback Ranch in Arizona. Tanner Scott is here, and so are a lot of the Dodgers' position players reporting to work early, all with that championship glow as the defending World Series champs. Austin Barnes, Max Muncy's there, Will Smith arriving today, and another of the new guys, DV's BFF, Blake Snell, beginning his first camp as a Los Angeles Dodger.
Hi, John. Can you believe it? The 2025 season is already here, and this is day one of spring training at Camelback Ranch. Now, it has been a little bit of a quieter day as they close it off to the media, with tomorrow being the official report day for the pitchers and catchers. So things were a little bit slower, but that doesn't mean the players were not here. Essentially, everyone has already reported, everyone from the pitchers, the catchers, the stars, you name it, to the position players. Players like Mookie Betts, Miguel Rojas, so many, Teoscar Hernandez, so many of them were out and taking some swings on the backfield. Guys are excited and ready for this season. For the position players, their report day is not technically until Friday, and then Saturday is the first full team practice. But like I said, guys are here. They've almost been here for about a week and a half, 2 weeks now, because they are eager to get the 2025 season going. Yes, they ended last year on the highest of notes, winning the World Series championship. You see the signs and celebration throughout Camelback Ranch, but these guys are hungry and they're determined to go back to back. So there's a different energy this year, a different excitement, and guys are already here and getting their bodies ready.
Great stuff there, Kirsten. And yeah, no team has gone back-to-back since the Yankees won 3 in a row from 98 through 2000. Dave Roberts said recently he expects Shohei Ohtani to return to the mound in a game likely sometime in May. Jerry, that's not necessarily set in stone because Shohei might have other ideas. But what do you think is a realistic time frame before we see Shohei in a game with the Dodgers?
Well, I think Shohei is going to try to rush to get out there. Sometimes you got to save players from themselves. We know Shohei Ohtani is an ultimate competitor, just like Clayton Kershaw. So he wants the ball. He wants to be out there pitching as soon as he can. You got to remember long term, the Dodgers do a great job, especially from the pitching side, making sure we slow play our guys. I expect them to kind of do what they did with Walker Buehler last year. Kind of slow play him a little bit, make sure, ramp him up maybe in late March, in April, and then have him probably start sometime in May, maybe late May, to make sure you have that nice build-up, because we want to make sure he's strong on the pitching side late in the season.
Yeah, how many times have we talked about this where a pitcher may be coming off an injury or it's the beginning part of their careers? And Andrew Friedman always says they're emphasizing October over April, May, or June. And that's the case with Shohei Ohtani. And it looked like him throwing off that pseudo mound right there. It looked like it was pretty fluid. Didn't seem like there were any restrictions. But Ohtani's a little behind. So is Tyler Glasnow. That's the way Friedman explained it at Dodger Fest.
Oh, it's always good to be back at Camelback Ranch, which has been the Dodgers' spring home since 2009. They share the facility, of course, with the White Sox. Regularly voted the best place in Arizona for fans to watch a Cactus League game. State-of-the-art facility for the players as well, as you would expect for the Dodgers. Today unveiled this new artwork to acknowledge the Dodgers winning their 8th World Series title in franchise history this past October. So spring, it's about renewal and reset. At least that's what they say about plants and flowers. Spring training is a bit of a different story. We're going to discuss some of the goals of spring training and what certain players are trying to get out of their time in Arizona. Jerry, we have to begin with the big show, the MVP. We know Shohei Ohtani can hit. He had the shoulder surgery right after the season. What is he looking to get out of spring as he also returns to the mound to pitch?
Well, I think for him, the hitting thing is going to be there. He understands that. Obviously, the run, I think he's going to steal a whole lot of less bases this year because he's going to be pitching. For him, the goal is to make sure his timing is ready to go at the plate for the start of the season, but make sure he's ready to go when called upon as a pitcher. Now, is it going to be in early May, mid-May, or late May? Spring training will have a lot to do with it.
I'm with Jerry. Pitching has got to be the focus for Ohtani because it's real. It's not the rehab year. It's the year that he's going to pitch for the Dodgers. So building up in spring training is a great starting point for him. Hitting, feel like he could get out of bed in the middle of the night and go 3 for 4 at least.
Certainly, that's the way he makes it look. He makes the game look a lot easier than it is.
But there's still a lot of questions to be answered. That's why I have my top 10 storylines that you need to know about heading into spring training. And I'm going to start with number 1. We'll start with number 1, and we'll work our way back. I like to get to the exciting, most juiciest stuff. All this stuff is juicy to me. But number 1 has to be, how will Shohei Ohtani pitch again? And how will the shoulder look coming off that surgery? How will Shohei Ohtani fare getting back to unicorn status? Getting back to being that two-way player that shook up baseball, that changed the game? Because he's not expected to return until May. That's the earliest we're going to see him most likely. Maybe we do see him at some point during the tune-up heading into the season, maybe the Freeway Series. Maybe you see him getting into a game before then, but you're not going to see him on the mound for the regular season until May. And the interesting thing is this. I don't know if you guys know this, but the rules for two-way players have changed. And it kind of happened overnight. And we're going to need some clarification on this. But the rule was named the Shohei Ohtani rule for a reason, because it gave a team the ability to have a roster spot for a guy that can pitch and a guy that can hit. How this helps the Dodgers in a big way is it allows them to still have 13 pitchers, not Shohei Ohtani. You can still have 5 starting pitchers and 8 relievers. And Shohei, he steps into that role as another starter, so you get 6 starters and 8 relievers. Well, typically the rule was you had to establish yourself to be a two-way player. That is, pitch 20 major league innings and start at least 20 major league games as a position player or a designated hitter with at least 3 plate appearances in each of those games. But what happened? They changed that rule where he's going to be able to keep his two-way player status right out of the gates. And the reason for that is because the original rule did not take into consideration Tommy John. So I texted some people around Major League Baseball with the rules, and they basically told me that this update was in place, and this didn't just happen overnight. It was the web page related to the rule that changed. So this is not something that they changed in the last couple of weeks. This is something that for fans and for people that were looking for information to see if this was still the case, yeah, that changed for them, but this is not something that changed overnight. So that's a beautiful thing. It makes perfect sense too, because the truth of the matter is with the criteria, he shouldn't have to, just because he was injured, have to earn that back. Because when you have a Tommy John surgery, there's a good chance you're going to miss all, if not most, of the following season. So I love this for the Dodgers. I don't think this is Major League Baseball saying, oh, it's the Dodgers and this is our darling, this is our cash cow, let's help out the Dodgers. No, I think that this is a rule that pertains to one player specifically, that you just did not have the language and the details in there as far as how a season-ending injury would impact that. So, hey, the good thing is the Dodgers, they can roll out 14 pitchers, man. And the big question now, though, is how does that 6-man rotation look early in the season? Because pretty much you can have a pseudo 6-man rotation to start the year because you have days off. You can throw in a bullpen game. But I think this gives an opportunity for one of those younger players that are still trying to have an impact on this team, we'll talk about in a second here, that can be a part of this rotation to start the year and see if you need depth. If a guy goes down, which of those guys is going to step up? with the names like Tony Gonsolin and Dustin May and Bobby Miller. Ben Casperius could get some run. Landon Knack could get some run. So they still have a lot of talent within this organization. But that's number one. That is number one. Like I said, when Shohei Ohtani toes the slab for the Dodgers at home for the first time, it's going to feel like a postseason game. It is going to be more electric than the Diamondbacks versus Rangers World Series, just because it's going to be the first time he'll be pitching in front of 50,000 Dodgers fans. And if he can pitch like an ace, like he was before having a second major arm surgery, that changes everything. That changes what this team looks like for the remainder of the year. That changes what this team will look like in the postseason. And also, just from an entertainment standpoint, you're seeing a guy do something that no one does, right? I mean, it's a guy that plays defense, essentially, because the pitcher has the ball and has offense. He created the 50-50 club. So I can't wait to see it. I mean, imagine if Aaron Donald and Aaron Rodgers were the same player, right? I mean, that's essentially what Shohei Ohtani is. There's not one player in the NFL, there's not one player in the NBA, there's not one player in soccer that is doing anything as unique as Shohei Ohtani is doing in Major League Baseball. And we get to see that for the first time this year. He's in his own class right now when it comes to athletes on planet Earth. But
ご視聴ありがとうございました。これからも大谷選手のさらなる活躍から目が離せません。チャンネル登録と高評価をよろしくお願いします。皆様からのコメントもお待ちしております。